Everybody, time is it noon where I am in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Glad to be back. Let's see, before I get too far, let me confirm that all the streaming platforms are working as expected. Yeah, okay, everything seems okay. I see a few people joining. Great, so let me introduce myself a little bit and then I'll talk about what we're going to discuss today. So I'm George. I'm the director of product at Draftbit. Draftbit is a no-code mobile builder. So you can make an app, iOS app, Android app, without having to know how to code, without having to write code. So it's pretty powerful tool. It covers a lot of things. So every week we do like an office hour to present like new features or things we've been working on, or just to help out the community, people that blog or things like that. So this is one of those office hours right now. So you typically see Nick Selman, who is our head of growth. Today, he might be like passing by, but it's mostly going to be me. Sorry, I'm getting some pop-up from Restream. So yeah, it's mostly going to be me today. And so for the next hour, we're going to do two things. The first one, we're going to do what we always do is, look at the release from last week, like what's new, what we've done, like just give you a little update on the new stuff very quickly, just 5-10 minutes. And then the big part of the office hour is going to be about building and publishing your app, your Draftbit app, to a store, to the App Store or to the Google Play Store. So we're going to do it live. I'm going to demo it to you. We're going to build a very simple Hello World app, and we're going to go through the process of taking it out of Draftbit, building it, and submitting it to a store. So obviously today is a little special for because we're not just going to talk about Draftbit. Most of what I'm going to talk about is almost like, the last mile after Draftbit. And we're going to use a lot of the tools provided by Expo. Expo is an amazing company that makes the whole like React Native development so much easier. And we're going to see some of that today, how they help you build stuff and submit it to a store just through the command line very easily. So we're a big fan of Expo. We use it a lot at Draftbit internally and inside the tool. For those who are familiar, that's how we preview stuff, preview your app in the builder. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Without more introduction, I'm going to go to the first thing, which is talk a little bit about what we released last week for a few minutes. And for that, I'm going to share my screen. Give me just one sec. Got to pick the right window. Okay. All right, moving. I need a better setup with all. I need like multi-screen or something like that, so I can do a better job at live streaming. But anyway, so this is Draftbit that you're seeing on the screen. If you go to community.draftbit.com, that's where our vibrant community, and I truly mean that. I think one of the really interesting thing of Draftbit is all the people behind it, our users, who are helping each other. They post tutorial, they post like how to, like, the cool stuff they've been building. So I highly encourage you to check out the community website, our community website. Okay, and so if you go to the what's new section, you'll see every week we publish something for the week. So this is what Nick published this week. So we got a few things. The first one, we got, I think, 3 or 4 update. The first one is around navigation parameter. So we have, I won't demo it today, but did we talk about that? Did we already demo it last week a little bit? Yeah, I think we might have demoed it a little bit last week. But in any case, it'll be back because it's a big feature that is a big deal. So you'll see more of that. But essentially, you know how you can pass information from one screen to the other? Well, now we've made that even better by having the ability to declare all the all the variable that a screen can receive, like from other screen navigating into it. So you declare all the variable at the screen level, and then when you create another screen, you already know like what you're supposed to provide to that screen. So it really makes a better interface, not in a UI sense, but in a conceptual sense between different screens. You know what's going in, what's going out. It's much clearer. It also opened the door with maybe next week to a lot of other cool stuff, like maybe local to a screen, local variable, and local states and things like that. This is actually a little teaser because we have some exciting stuff coming up on that front in a week or two. So that's navigation parameter. That's out. You can try it out. No code auth private is now open. That's a huge deal. There's a video of our previous office hour. You can do authentication through REST API. So any services that provide authentication, like Supabase, Xano, all of those backend lists, you can do it now in Draftbit in no code. So it's been a lot of like the combination of a few features that now allow you to not have to write one line of code. I won't go into too much detail because, like I said, we already did a demo for that. Check it out if you're interested. Then oh yeah, that's an interesting one. Guys, we are still doing a pilot for GitHub commit. And maybe I'll show a little bit of that today. I'll find an excuse to talk about that today in the rest of the video. But you can commit directly to GitHub from Draftbit. That's a big deal. You just give us a few like information about the repo and your access token and stuff like that, and then we'll just push for you. That has been now my workflow when I use Draftbit. I just commit to GitHub all the time. Find it great. I have my Draftbit branch and I have my main branch, and I merge those two every now and then I use my main branch to like publish the app. So it's very interesting. Again, you'll see some of that, but if you're interested, let us know. Go to the community website, search for GitHub. You'll see a couple of posts. Like, just reach out because we want to invite you to try it out. We already have a few members trying it out, finding out like edge cases and things like that, which we really like. That's the whole point. We're doing a pilot. So if that's your thing, let us know, and we'll love to invite you to it. And the last one on the screen is a lot of fixes around like Jigsaw. Jigsaw is our components library. So you like your text component, your button component, all of that. So we call that Jigsaw. And we've already released a lot of improvement, and not to tease out too much, but we're doing a lot more in those components in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. They're about to become way more powerful over the next few weeks. I'll talk about that more next time, obviously. Okay, so that's it. That's let me switch back. Okay, this is it. This is our update. So now I'm just gonna go straight to Draftbit. Let's go and try to build and publish an app. That's a big deal. You guys, we've talked a lot about how to build an app, but what do you do to put it into a store? Which is, for most of you guys out there, is the end goal. Some people actually just want to create a little bit of a UI for a screen and use that somewhere else. But like for the majority of people, the goal is to put the app in the App Store, which makes sense. So let's see. Let's try it. All right, create an app. How are we gonna call it? I'm just gonna create a world. I don't have a lot of imagination this morning, I guess. Okay, I'm just still gonna check that you guys. Okay, I might have to share my entire desktop at some point because I think the window might not be enough to see all the command line stuff, but we'll do that when we get there. Okay, so that's Draftbit, creating an app, blank app, just a blank screen. I'm going to call that screen Hello World, and all we're going to put in the app. We're not going to spend any time building the app, so because that's not the point of these videos. So I'm just going to put a little bit of margin, make it a little nicer, and then that'll be the end of it. Okay. Here we go. Text. Hello world. Should we do a little wave emoji? It doesn't hurt. Make it big. Make it bold. Which one do we like here? Bold. Should we make it black? Ooh. Montessori black. Okay, how's that? Hello world. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. That'll be all we need. Don't need to be more fancy than that. And here we go. All right. Oh, by the way, I know I do a lot of disclaimer, but I've done that a few times, obviously, myself to publish an app, and I can show you the result already. Let me show you what it looks like, just so we get a sense of the end goal here. So, eventually, after all of this, you will get to have your Google Play console. You'll have a couple of apps that are published that you can test, and then you'll be able to assign them to. Well, the Google Play is a little bit different because it's much easier to open it up to a bunch of people right away. And on the App Store, let me enter a little password here. Here we go. On the App Store side of things, it's a similar thing. You'll be able to, you have all your apps. I have a couple. You'll be able to put them on Test Flight. Test Flight is a way, it's a little app for those who are not familiar on your phone that lets you test a bunch of apps that have not yet been completely released to the App Store, but are in development. So you can see I have a bunch of versions here. And so for each of those, you can define a testing group. So I have my team, and then they're all testing different version of the app that I released. So once you have that, you can share that with your team, with pretty much anybody. It doesn't have to be your team. So this is kind of the step before you go to the store. Okay, so that's the end goal. Just wanted to show you a little bit of that before we start. I'm just checking a little bit. Everything's going well. Okay. So there are, when you're done with your app, there as a pro, if you're on the pro account, a pro plan, there's a couple of things you can do to export your app. The very straightforward thing you can do, if you go to code, you can click export app. I'm going to do it actually, so I'm going to show you. When you click that button, we will go and in the background, package your app and send it to you by email. So it's pretty fast, but it might take a minute or two, and then you'll get an email that show it to you. That works great. So when you get the email, actually, I'm gonna do it all. So I'm gonna share my whole desktop. Let me turn on a few notifications so we're not bothered here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my whole screen. That way I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, entire screen. Oh, it's going to get a little crazy with it's okay. Whoa. All right, I hope that wasn't too strange, but I'm still hoping you can see me. So yeah, when I click that, now I can see. So I'm going to go into my email, and I should have received, here you go. Your code export is ready for the Hello World app. So you'll get a download button. Depending on your email client, that button might work or doesn't work sometimes. But doesn't matter. You got the link. So click on the link. You'll download the zip file, and then in your download folder, here it is. Oh, which one is it I got? Because I got two. Sorry. Here we go. That was the 39 one. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. So this is what you're getting your project just like that. And there's everything you need in there. There's no secret stuff. There's no hidden stuff. So from there, you can go out and do whatever you want with your app. You don't have to come back to Draftbit if you don't want to. We will obviously be sad to see you go, but this is kind of the value prop of Draftbit here, that we give you the entire app We generate the code for you. It's all like very well, it's nicely written code as engineer would. So this is pretty powerful. So you can either take it from here and then build and submit your app, or, and I want to show you the new cool thing we do is let you commit to GitHub. So to do that, all you need to do is set up your GitHub settings. I'm going to do it because I think it's kind of cool to show. So I'm going to go to GitHub, to my account. I'm gonna do a new repository that I'm gonna call Hello World. Yep, that's essentially it. I might keep it private, but you do whatever you want. So here's a repository. All right. Now that I have this, I can go and say, all right, this is my repository. I want to. When I do it, like I have my Draftbit branch and the main branch, and I do the pull request from one to the other. We're gonna keep it simple here. Hopefully we won't get blocked, but I'm gonna put it all in the main branch. And now all we need is a personal access token. So you can go. We already have a link. So if you click that link, we'll take you directly to where you need to go. And all you need to say is I need an access token for Draftbit to access GitHub. And I'm going to say it's my Hello World app from Draftbit. It's going to work out for 30 days. And all we, from the Draftbit point of view, need is permission to the repo. Like the scope should be around the repository. That's all we need. We're trying to be we try to limit the amount of permission that we require just because we think it's better. Okay, so here it is. You can see I have a bunch of others already for my other apps, but you take that token and then you go to Draftbit and you put it here, and that's all you need to set up GitHub in Draftbit. And now I can say, all right, first commit and push, done. And now if I go to GitHub, here it is. My whole application. So essentially what I downloaded by email and I got it here is all in this GitHub repository, the same thing. So that's convenient. If that's your workflow to use GitHub, we definitely encourage you to do that. So if you're excited about that, and let us know because we want to invite more people to that beta. So we're going to take it from here. What I like to do then is clone that GitHub repository locally. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to search for it in GitHub, like GitHub desktop. I'm going to put it here under the code. Okay. So now here we go. Everything is up to date, and I have under code. I should have my Hello World app. Here it is. Oh, that's one I downloaded yesterday. I'm going to remove it so we're not confused. Okay, so here it is, Hello World. I'm going to open that up. There we go. Close a bunch of stuff that we don't need. Okay, so this is the app in my code editor. The beauty, it's locally, but it's also on GitHub, obviously. So we have a README file in that exported project that should help you get started and hopefully go all the way through. And so that's essentially what we're going to do here together is go through that README file. So I passed the introduction, recommended tools, and all of that. And so the very first step, I'm going to open my console here. I'm going to go to the location where I have my project, which is code Hello World. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So first thing I want to do is make sure that my node is installed. In my case, all right, I got close to the latest version. So that's good. I have Node. If you don't have Node, you need to install it. I won't cover that in this video only because I kind of want to get all the way to the end. I don't want to get into all the branches or the possible thing happening. But if you don't have Node, install Node. Hopefully it's a kind of self-contained problem by itself. So this is not what I mean by that is this is not specific to Draftbit. So you see a lot of resources online. How do I install Node on my laptop? So look at that if you need to. I'm going to assume you have it now. The one thing you might not have, and is a little bit more specific to Draftbit, is you need to install the Expo Cli, so the command line. And so for that, we're going to do npm install and the Expo Cli. All of that, like I said, is in the README. So hopefully, can you? I'm a little bit worried. Okay, I'm going to assume you can see my screen. And I'm going to hope my team members, I'm going to do, my team members can let me know. If you're not, I'm going to make sure that I'm reachable. And if the, for some reason, the screens are not working out, I have to let me know. Okay, so I'm going to run that command to install the Expo CLI. I've done it before, so I'm essentially just illustrating here what you will do. But I have it available on my machine. So what is doing that? I'm just oh yeah, actually that's a great little thing we're running into. Hopefully, I mean not hopefully, but it's good that we run into those issues because those are the ones you're going to run into yourself. So I want to make sure we address them. You need to sudo to be able to run that command. So it's going to ask for my password. Let's get me in. So do that. All right. So it's going to take another second. And then when we're done with that, what we want to do, if you look at the next step, and like the README also give you a couple of links if you want to learn more about Expo and the Expo CLI. The next step is to install all the dependencies. And for that, all we need to do once we are in the right folder is to do yarn. And that's going to install everything. So a quick note on yarn. I think we used to have in that README that you should do npm install, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. But we strongly recommend now that you use yarn. So yeah, if you run into an issue with your other way of doing things, just try to run yarn. It's hopefully it should solve a bunch of stuff. And if it doesn't, let us know and reach out. So anyway, what you're seeing on the screen is just some warnings that are not critical. And so at the end of it all, we should have installed a dependency and we should be able to start our app. So we'll see. Okay, so the next step is going to be running. To take a little bit of a step back, all we're doing right now is taking your Draftbit app that works in your browser when you're building it and making it like a local app that you can run locally. That's essentially what you're doing here. So in terms of running it, you can run yarn start, you can run expo start. They both work, and it's going to open a page in your web browser. And then that's essentially provided by Expo. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can run your app in the web browser. Let's see, it's going to take a second, but that should hopefully open it up. Other things you can do is run your app in a simulator or emulator. I'm not going to show that again because I don't want us to like go on too much on a tangent here. But so for the web, so here it is. So that's your app running just on a web. Remember the hello world we did? So here it is. You can use the Expo Go app. So that's pretty cool. And that works even when you're still in Draftbit while you're in developing mode. If you install the Expo Go app, they let you then scan a QR code, and you can point at that QR code, and you'll see on your device the app running. And as you make changes in Draftbit, the app will update. So it's actually a great way to develop, because you can have your phone right next to your laptop. That's what I do, at least. And then you make all your changes and you see literally on advice what the app will look like without having to like build and publish and all that. So it's good for development mode. It's great to have that like very instantaneous back and forth. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend the Expo Go for that. But that's it. So the summary is that you have a bunch of ways at this point to try your app: simulator, web, Expo Go, and all of that. What I'm going to kind of skip all that for now, because my app doesn't need a ton of testing. It's very simple. But also, although, you know what, I keep changing my mind, but like let's show how well it works. So I have the Expo Go app here. I'm going to scan the QR code that you should be seeing on the screen. Oh, it doesn't. I don't know why this QR code doesn't seem to work. Well, let me see. I'll demo it by showing you this one. So if you do here, if you do your preview, it's the similar QR code here. So I don't know if you'll be able to see very well on my screen, but this is essentially, I don't have a lot of video feedback, so I don't know if you're seeing, but let me describe it to you. You're just seeing that Hello World. I don't need those notifications. Sorry about that. This is the Hello World app that we built, like right on my phone. If I were to make a change in Draftbit, it will show up here. So all of that works. All those ways to preview your apps are pretty convenient. What I care about, so I'm going to exit out of that and say bye-bye to my Hello World app here. What I care about is turning that app into a build, essentially like just packaging it together and then submitting that build to store. So to do that, again, we're going to skip the running part of this. I believe that's kind of where, because you can now test it locally. So I believe that's where the README stops and where we're going to start to use the kind of Expo documentation. So typically here, like how to build the binary and send it to the Apple Play Store, to the Apple Store or Google Play Store. So Expo has a lot of great documentation. Highly recommended. They go through everything. I've been using it a lot over the last few months, and it's very thorough, which is not, as a developer, like something you really appreciate. So I won't go to all of it. I'm going to give you just the TLDR, but I highly recommend, if you're ever blocked by anything, that you check out that guide. Okay, so essentially what we want to do now is two things. We want to build. That's going to be the first step. So take that project, turn it into build, and then we want to submit to the store. So Expo. So that's the. I'm not an Expo expert. So if you are, if the Expo team is listening, please do feel free to correct me if I say anything wrong. But I think it used to be that the commands were Expo space build and Expo submit, and now they have this Expo what is it? Expo application service. I'm not sure about the A, but anyway, so it's EAS now build and EAS submit. As I've been using it myself, I run into a couple of differences between the two. So there has been a couple of times where I go back to the Expo command line when I can't make the EAS work or things like that. But overall, that's the idea. So let's try to do it the right way with a new EAS command. And then if it doesn't work, we'll default back. So quick check here. Okay, everything's worked well. So ES build. Let's see what we get. So what platform do you want to build? Let's start with iOS. The app is not set up for building with EAS. Setting up now. Yes, I think. Okay. Can we commit this change to Git for you? I'm going to skip that. No. That was my mistake. I'm not actually, if I remember correctly now, it is going to create kind of an extra JSON file to provide all the required information. So yes, I'm gonna, yeah, yes, commit message. Yes, setup. Credential and we will automatically. Do you have a login to Apple? Yes. Okay, that's the one. Okay, so now because I've done it before, I recognize my session. And so now I'm getting the information that the bundle identifier com.draftbit.entitled app is not available. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, I do want to change that name. And second of all, I need to make it available. So in Draftbit, in the settings, you'll see an advanced setting that will let you change the name of the bundle. So here, I'm going to call it, how would Hello World. Oop. World. Oh, no. No space or dashes. Okay, so I'm going to be consistent and call them Hello World. Okay, so let's do that. And then I'm going to commit change name, commit that. Now locally, I'm going to pull those changes to the branch because I committed the remote branch. Okay, fair enough. So I did, let's see, what did I change? I'm going to undo those. Well, first of all, I did that when I went through that command line thing. It created those two files, the aes.json with some information about how I want Expo to manage my build and my submit. So I'm going to first commit that, and then I should be able to then pull all my recent changes. So now if I actually check into my app, not only I see that aes.json, but I should see in my app.json the better names. Here we go. So the Hello World. So this is your app.json file and has a lot of information about your application, including its name, scheme, and all of that, and the bundle identifier that I just changed. So at least now the name should be better. I might still have to like, it might still not be available, but we'll take one step at a time. So let me try again. iOS. Yes, I want to do it with my Apple accounts. Now I can see that it's using the right bundle identifier. So reuse this distribution certificate. So like I said, I have a couple of apps, including one that's called Fahrenheit. So he's asking me if I want to reuse the distribution certificate. I don't. And to be fair, that's a little, we're doing it live, but I've never not used one. So we'll see. Choose another existing or add a new. We're going to add a new certificate. Generate a new Apple distribution certificate. Yes. Generate a new Apple. Yes. So we'll see if I'm changing my mind at the end of this session, but my experience has been that Expo does a lot of stuff automatically for you when it comes to iOS. So everything I just did here, like the provision profile and distribution certificate, all that is taken care of. And it's giving you the information, which I should, it's giving you all that information. So it's not like it's hidden from you. You have access to all that, but it's doing a lot of the steps for you. For Android, I think there's a couple of things you need to do. Is getting the service accounts and all of that. So you have maybe a tiny bit more work, but it's still very, very reasonable. All right, so now you can see my build is in progress, which is great. All right, this is awesome. This is going to take a couple of minutes. And then I typically, in the past, when I did an iOS app, I had to go, and I'll show it to you. I had to go to the App Store Connect and actually create the app here just so Expo will see it. Even though I don't think that was it didn't feel like that was a necessary step, but that's how I've been able to unblock myself in the past. We'll see if I have to do it now, because maybe I was just doing it wrong the first time. So we'll see if it works. In the meantime, we can get some build details. Let's look at Export as a great thing by providing a lot of information in the command line. So you won't see it now, but when we submit, it tells you like why you're in the queue, how long it might take, what's the current kind of time expectation for everybody in the queue, things like that. So it's very helpful. This is the information about my build. So this is Expo, by the way. I don't think we've ever seen that today. So this is the Expo web kind of interface. So you can see I have my app here, including that Hello World app that I just made. And I am the owner. This is Slug, SDK version, and all that. It's still being built for the iOS App Store build. So you just have to wait a little bit. I'm debating if I should do the Android in parallel, but I feel like doing it in parallel maybe a little like pushing it. Anyway, let's give that another minute. I'm going to put it here so I can see when it's done. It's a good opportunity to tell you a little bit about those docs. So here I have a couple of. So there's particularly two docs that have been super helpful to me. This one, building standalone app. So we talked a little bit about that before. I mean, I'm gonna share it in the stream. So close your eyes because we're about to like enter the inception stream. Here we go. When will the platform be launched? And Aman says, watching George turning into an Expo fanboy. I've been turning into an Expo fanboy over the last few months for sure. So as for the Evdobo, when will the platform be launched? What platform are you referring to? I'm not clear if you're talking about Draftbit or Expo, or because both of them are live and launch. So everything I'm showing now, in case I didn't make that clear, is something you can do. Well, the commit to GitHub in Draftbit is a pilot. So like I said, let us know, we'll invite you, and then it'll be available to you. But everything else is something you can do. So this is live. I'm doing it the same way you would. Okay, so yeah, highly recommend this documentation. We'll see it a little bit later, but once you do the Android stuff, I highly recommend also checking, like creating a Google Service account, because you're gonna have to. When you submit it, it's gonna ask you for your Google Service account. And Expo has a couple of files, couple of like README like this, where they go into the step by step with screenshot of how to do it, how to get the service account. It's really well done. I went through that myself. I wasn't blocked or confused at any given time. It was very clear. The screenshot are up to date and everything like that. So I do recommend this one. I'm going to share. And then, a little clarification. Sorry, I heard about Drive in January and it wasn't released yet. I checked it now. Yeah. So if you were talking about Drive it is available. You can sign up. We have a starter plan and we have a pro plan. Both of those are you have a 14 days free trial. So give it a try, a couple of weeks. And if you like it, stay with us. Yeah, simple as that. Okay, and this one is also a doc about your first submission to Android. So the thing I mentioned previously is to get your service account. You need to put that service account file in your app, in your repository. And this is to go through kind of applying to the Android store. There's also a couple of steps. You need to give it the name, some information about your app, but all of that is also like very easy and well documented. So I'm going to share that as well. Let's see, it's taking a long time now. It's usually so much faster. What, did I do anything wrong already? All credential already built. Hello world. What did I do? Oh, I could have I done that made it longer. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the first time I used this provision profile and distribution certificate. I don't know. Well, you know what we're gonna do? Just because we have to wait anyway. I'm gonna leave that here, and I'm gonna illustrate the Google Play Store in parallel. And we have 15 more minutes. Hopefully, one of the things will be done by then. So I'm definitely taking a little bit of a risk here because if we were just for a real use case, I would probably not do both at the same time. I think maybe pushing it a little bit. But so going back to my Hello World app, here it is. Like I said, we have EAS build and EAS submit. So this time I'm going to do Android. You have obviously noticed you can do all, which will do your Android and iOS. But I want to illustrate both processes separately right now, so that's why I picked that. And to be very honest, too, like I personally, I don't know, I feel a little more confident when I do this one at a time. I feel it's a little bit confusing for me. There's still a lot of moving pieces when it comes to releasing an app. So the the more I can simplify the process for my brain, the better I feel. All right, generate a new Android Keystore. Yes. So like I said, if I remember correctly, I think for Android that we might be required to do a few more things. Oh, did I just lie? Is it that easy? Oh, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe all that service count file that I mentioned, I forgot what it is, but might have been first time you push anything to the Google Play. I kind of, in my mental model was that every time you put a new app in there, you have to do that. But maybe it's the very first time you put an app, which would be amazing. That makes things even more simpler. So we'll find out. Okay, so let's see the detail of this build. Boom. It is. This is my Android Play Store. You can see all the steps it's going to go through live. It's in real time, so you can see it happening. Yeah, so that's going to take a minute. While we wait for that, let me do a couple of stuff. First of all, and talk a little bit about the app.json file. So you've got your obvious information like the names, log, and all of that. Then you got your platform, the version. You can play with it the way you want. I personally like to start with 0.1 and start from there. I do believe I'm doing a side note on version names now, but I do believe that's what's that recommendation site or guideline for version names? How is it called again? I thought it was a recommendation that GitHub follows. Even no, what was it? It's gonna bug me if I don't find it. Semantic versioning. Yeah, here you go. That's the one. Okay, so I loosely follow that guideline when it comes to versioning. I'm only mentioning it as a side note. Like you can do whatever you want, but if you don't have an opinion and you would like to have an opinion, this one has worked pretty well for me. And so the thing I was just mentioning earlier is, I think they recommend to. The simplest thing to do is start your initial development release at 0.1.0 and then increment the minor version of each subsequent release. So I like to do that. That's where you're not starting at the 1.0 because your app is not quite like a full release just yet. So that's typically what I do. Feel free to read the rest of the guideline. I don't know if it's called a guideline or anyway. I'll share that. You guys can have a look at it if you care. Go. Sorry, back and forth with the Inception video thing. Okay, how are we doing now? Still in progress. Oh man, look at that. I do either must be doing something wrong or that is taking a long time because I'm starting with like fresh credentials, but you have to trust me on that. It's usually much faster. Um, so yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on. Well, it's making progress. You can see here, like, look, it's environment start to build. Hopefully none of that is critical. It's still passed. Done, run. Okay, so now it's running this. All right, so what about the iOS one? It's still building. Sending jobs to worker. This one seems like it's... Oh, here we go. It's just not up to date. Fast. Okay, so it's coming. It's coming, guys. All right, let's just grab a coffee, chill a little bit. It's coming. We don't need to rush. We have time. If you can make an app in 30 minutes, you can wait 2 minutes for it to build. That's how I look at it. Okay. Other stuff I was going to mention. Okay, so your icon and your splash, those are information you get, you can set up in here. So your app icon and splash icon, I highly recommend you use those. You're going to have to anyway, because they're going to enforce that you do, just so it looks good. Now, the reason I'm getting there is you have two things like iOS and Android that you can you can override things with it. So you can give it the right different ball name, a different version. I will not give it a different version, but you can update a couple of stuff. The reason I'm getting there is I've run in the past for the two applications I've built so far with Expo. The two I've run into the same issue of the name of the app was already used in the App Store. And I did not run that into Android. I don't know how they do it, or if maybe they don't enforce that it needs to be unique names. Anyway, so I got a little bit in the rabbit hole of like, how do I change that? Can I change the name? Like I kind of expected, oh, can I just do like name and just give it a different name just for iOS? That did not work. Maybe I did it wrong. The way I was able to get around it, so I'm mentioning it here in case you run into the same issue, is here, let me find the example. Yeah, this one. Okay, so here, the way I was able to do it is I created an app.config.js that essentially is going to, I didn't invent that. This is a recommending way. I'll find you the link right after, but this is a recommended way that I find to override the name. So you're essentially overriding the config. So if during the build process, the environment that the platform that you mentioned, so iOS or Android, if it's iOS, instead of coding it bunch, in this case, you're going to code it bunch notification. So I had to like add a word just so that name was unique, and then you would go through. So just take that, put it in your app.config.js, and then in your app.json, actually, you don't even have to mention it. I think it gets it, but it's gonna find it by default, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I had to like, let's do a quick search. I had to like mention it anyway. All right, so that should be automatic. I'll find you the link. Do I have it here? I think I might. Yeah, so I'm checking my notes quick. I know you guys can see my note. It's okay. There's no secret between us. You can see my Slack. This is me going through. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get lost now. But I'll share it. It was a recommended kind of walk around. I think I even had a Twitter discussion with one of the Expo folks, so I'll try to document that. Okay. Ooh, I see a little red dot. Does that mean I got into an error? Oh no, let's find out. Oh, Draftbit fail with unknown error. Please see logs. Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. All right, did this one go? Oh, this one is finished. All right, so here we go. For some reason, the Android failed. I don't know why. We're going to look into that in a second. But on a positive note, the iOS one worked. And so this is now my iOS app. So this is the build. So I did it just to remind you with iOS EAS build, and I can now do EAS submit. It should ask me a few questions. I submit to the iOS platform. Yes, with this Apple ID. Hopefully it's going to remember my sessions and everything. Okay, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. So I've been getting this like app name hello world has already been used. So we already know what to do because we just discussed it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the content of this. So app.config.js, and I'm going to add it to my hello world app.config.js. Okay, and instead of calling it hello world, we're gonna call it hello Draftbit. Maybe I should have studied there, honestly. That would have been a good name right away. Okay. So I think that's all I've got to do. Hello world. Okay. Okay. Let's try again. So if I resubmit, I think I have to rebuild. But let's make sure. Yeah, I want that ID. I think I'm gonna run into the same issue. Okay, so yeah, because you see the name is still hello world, so I need to rebuild it now that I've changed something. So let's try again. Let's hope. I bet this time it's gonna be faster. I mean, to get yeah, but I thought we already did that. Did we not? But yeah, setup 2. Entry of account. Yeah. I'm redoing a bunch of steps here. I feel like maybe there should have been something in the command that I used that could be better to not have to redo all of that. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have a better idea for now. Okay. So while this is going on, and let's hope it's a little faster because we have 5 minutes left. Yeah, so this is happening and it's going to do its thing. Why did we get an error here? What is that? Let's do what it says to do. Let's be good citizen. I run. Okay. Please see log for the run. Oh, sorry, I completely misread this statement. For C for the run phase. Okay. And there fails unknown error. Please see log. Okay, let's see if we can understand any of it. Failed. Merge text release. Dependencies. Try run restart. What is that? I didn't run into that before, so it's new to me too. I don't know what that is. All right, so I don't know what that is. I don't fully understand it yet. Let me try to do what I said earlier to run the Expo build instead. Oh, and when you do Expo builds, I believe you have to mention the platform. Am I correct? No? Oh, wait. Oh, maybe it's... Okay, that's the one. Okay, we're going to do... am I correct to remember that I should do the app bundle? I'm just looking at my notes, guys, just like you would. Yeah, okay, so app bundle. Yes, let's do that. I would like to Keystore generate new Keystore. Yeah, why don't you generate it for me? I'm gonna essentially try to build it in a different way to see if this one it works. Okay, so now that those two things are going on, what else can I cover? When it will, I'm trying to go ahead a little bit. So when it will be time to put something on the store, it's gonna require you to put some assets like the screenshot and logo and all of those things. For that, so I don't know if I can show it here. I believe I might be able to. I don't know. Let's see. No, those are for when it crashes. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to do in others. So I've already done it for this one, so I don't. Maybe if I can, maybe if I do, just to show you a new app. Oh wait, are you almost done here? Anyway, the reason I'm kind of talking about that is there is a few tricks in how you want those assets to look. So we have our own kind of Figma file that I can share with you guys. But essentially, here I'll show an example. Yeah. So you want to be a little bit clever about how you do it. I'm going to show those two files. So on iOS, there is you're just gonna have to give it an act, whatever the dimension, 1024 by 2024. In Android, they do that thing, I'm mentioning it so you know when you get there, where you can have an adaptive icon. So you give it an icon with the transparent background and then give it a color. And then if you do those two things, it'll be smart enough to kind of shape that adaptive logo to whatever format it's required on your phone. So because of that, it can do a little bit of animation, it can do like fade in and out, it can do a bunch of stuff. That's why they use that adaptive icon. But it's good to know that it's a thing. And we have a little bit, like I said, we have some Figma files if you guys need to help you out, like create create icon at the right dimension, the adaptive icon I was just talking about, the screenshot and all of that. So we're happy to help you with that as well. And so once you do, just to finish up on that icon note, you're gonna end up with something like that in your app.json. What you're gonna have to do is have this, like, instead of just an icon, you're gonna have an adaptive icon with the foreground image, which is a transparent logo and the background color, and they're going to use that to do fancy stuff with it. Anyway, just a little thing to know. Okay, let's see where we are now. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, were we already there? Oh, we were, I guess. Checking this big already exists. Take a few. Oh, well, and now I can illustrate something cool about Expo, is that it shows you, as I talked about a bit, the length of the queue that you're in for things being like worked on. So put a dev/total status. Yeah, I'll share that too. It's fun. Oh, not what I meant to do. Sorry about that. Okay. So now you can see like how many people are waiting in line, how many builds per hour, like the last hour, and things like that. So I have no use of that. I just find it super cool to see everything that's going on. So maybe I don't know. Maybe there is like a lot going on right now. Is that why? Maybe a little longer. Oh, I guess it is. Build result, Android successful, and this is iOS successful. Oh, interesting to see. I didn't notice that before. There is more Android build being uh, Android platform app being built than iOS, at least on through Expo. It is going up a little bit right now, but it might be just a normal daily thing. Obviously, you see that. It's interesting. 100 build minus waiting plus processing time. That's kind of cool. Give you like how long things are or waiting and processing. Which one is this one? Oh, that's just processing. That's total. Anyway, so have fun with it. I find it pretty cool myself. Still working on that thing. This is essentially the same information, I guess, we saw earlier, the detail of my build going on. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, I believe that's the thing that didn't work earlier. So let's see if it works out this time. Okay, well, we have to wait. I apologize. I wasn't expecting things to take so long. So we're a little blocked here. And we're technically at time. So I don't know. Maybe we're going to have to do a part 2 of this thing. What else can I cover? Let me look at my notes again, see if there's anything. So when that works, that's the build. That's the thing I was just talking about. Oh, maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show you the documentation when someone. No. Oh, you know what? Let me. Kind of want to find. I'm sorry, it's not the best live stream here, but I kind of want to show you the information where yeah, like I said, talk about the icon, where someone unblocked me with that app.config.js. Just so you know, it's here you go. Can I change the app name just for the iOS build? Okay, so that's the article or the post. I'm glad I found that. Okay, and well, it's me posting it. I forgot I was on posting inside. But people got back to me, and essentially, someone I believe responded here, providing kind of the solution that I was just describing earlier. So yeah, this is where it's all coming from. So thank you to Not Brent. Because I was able to unblock me. So if you're looking, let me share the whole thing. That way, if you're blocked, I don't want you to be blocked, but if you block, it's kind of good to know that this is what might be going on. Okay. Let's see, where are we with our build? Okay. Well, ironically, now the Android one worked. So with the Expo build, Android worked, but not with the ES. I'll have to be. I usually do the Expo. Anyway, so now this is the link that they provide me. So if I were to look at it, it will download. Let's do it. You'll download now the kind of package application. It's an how does it called, like an AAB kind of package. So let's see if we can submit this now. That'd be cool. So to ES submit. I still want to really use that ES syntax. I'm trying to out. If it doesn't work, we default back to the Expo one. But all right, let's try a bit. Okay, now I'm going to say I have the URL for the app. You can do the latest one. For some reason, I prefer to do the URL. I prefer to be explicit, but I guess if you did the latest one, it would work. Although now that I have two in parallel, that's probably not really safe to do. But you can do it locally or build. But I found the URL to be, oh, shoot, look. I wanted to check something. So ES, I found the URL to be the more explicit one. And I want ABB file, which is what I have here. All right. Now, see, I'm not gonna lie, I always get confused by the archive type. I know it's an ABB that I have now, but I'm wondering if it's an APQ that I need. I forgot. I always forgot. I believe the correct type may be ABB. Okay, AAB is what I want in this case. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. Now I need that Google service account file that I was talking about earlier. And look, they even provide the documentation that I talked about earlier. So typically what I do is we're going to go through the process. We're going to do it together. We're going to go a little over, but it's worth it. So, all right, I have my developer account. That's going to be cool. You can see. Okay, settings. Oh, close that. Let's see which one I'm going to. On apps. What am I trying to do? Settings, developer account, API access. API access. All right. So instead of setting developer account API access, you just go to set up API access, slightly different. But anyway, very similar. I should probably not show those keys. It's okay. Those are just test app I have in there. Okay. Choose a project to link. View project, service accounts. Why am I getting all confused here? Create link to Google project. Access to the project. We're gonna do I'm just going to create a new access service account because I think that's what that's the whole point of these things, to create a new service account. So here we go. So I was just there. Oh, was I not redirected? Okay, go to Google Cloud Platform. That's what we're doing. Create a service account. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay. Sorry. Expo. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Create a new service account. Yeah. Sorry. So Expo. Hello World App. Okay. That's it. There's like a description. Don't need that. Create. Step we did. Now the role and on service account user. Service account user. That's it. Okay. Next. I'm gonna say continue. We're gonna be done with this. And then here it is. And we're gonna do create. And all of that is documented here. So create key, manage key, add key. Yeah. Add key, create new key, JSON. Okay, that's what we're seeing here. Next step. Okay, so I'm going to do it, create it, done. Now see, I have this key on my desktop. Okay, close this. So it's like grant access. I need to go to that. Okay, almost there. Hello world. What is that? Grant access, API access. Oh, sorry, that's going back to the Google Play Store. Okay, so now I'm here. Okay, done with this one. I should see. Here we go. That's the new service account, so I can grant it access. What do I need to give it? View app, email address, view app. Okay, all the default stuff will be available to access. Okay, send invite. All good. Okay, and that's it. So now I have this file, this service account file on my desktop, right? Here's what I do. You can do different things, but what I typically do is take that file and I go put it in my app because you can put it anyway. It doesn't have to be in the app, but it's going to ask you for that. Oh, no. Okay, let me try again. Sorry. It's going to ask you for that file a lot. So I figure out it's nice for me to have it in my app. L1. Okay, and I do typically a little like so here it is. I'm gonna do sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now. I do a secret in my git ignore, and then I put that into my secret. Here we go. So now, first of all, I'm gonna update my git ignore, ignore secret. Okay, I'm keeping my GitHub repository up to date. And then here it is. I'm going back here when it's asking me for the path to the service account. I'm going to give it, it's under my app and secret. So that's what it's going to, that's the path. And the actual secret is going to be this, not the secret, the link, sorry, the name of the file. Okay, so that should work. Good. Scheduling submission, submitting your app to Google Play Store. Woohoo! As I briefly mentioned, when jeez, come on. Okay, scheduling. We couldn't figure out what to found. Request package not found. Interesting. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. Let me try again. Fastlane supply failed. All right, well, we're going to try that again, just in case. I don't know what didn't work. But typically, so that will eventually go through. And after that, we're almost done. Then we will be done with everything like command line related, or like Draftbit and command line related. And then we'll have to go to the Google Play console and do like an answer form where we give the picture, like all the like logos and stuff like that. Oh, this one, I'm going back to iOS. This one, I forgot where we were. Okay, we built it. Oh, we built this one with the new name, with a little like check if it's iOS, if it is, change the name. So now that we've done that, let's try submit it. See if that works. Okay, so yes, this window is for iOS. Gonna use that same account. Let's see if that goes through. Oh, no. See, okay. So we're essentially running into the same issue. So like, why? Like we just did everything we could to make that work. I do recall, and maybe I don't know why, but maybe you guys will run into that. So here's how I solved it in the past. Okay, so this is how, when I just do ES build, it doesn't seem to take into account the app config. So what I had to do in the past, let's see if that fixes it now, is ES build platform iOS. So when I do ES build and I just answer the question, it didn't seem to do the exact same thing that when I do ES build platform iOS. Although you would think that it's just a shortcut to that first question, but my experience has been that the result is different. And we just saw in the first one, we'll see if it works with the second one. For the first one, at least, I don't think it took that app.config.js into account. We'll see if it works with the second one. All right, so now I have those two things. The Android one, I'm not exactly sure why it broke. Maybe I've actually never experienced this one, so we might have to I might have to investigate. And the iOS one, it's still stuff I experienced, so hopefully I'm still hopeful we can get to something that works. Okay, I should say, I know this session is going much longer, so I might keep going, if only because like I'm gonna keep going myself, so I might as well, for the if people are following along, might as well get value, and give us a recording for later anyway. I'll probably stop as soon as we get a build submitted. I'm probably not gonna do the whole image assets and all that, because that's taking a little bit of time after. We might keep that for a second session. All right. By the way, yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Gonna have to wait a little bit for that. What else? What else do we have? Oh, no, not what I meant to do. Sorry. Let's see. Let me look back at those notes. What else did I run into that was not working properly that I fixed? So that app.config is one. Yeah, so the AAB is the right one to do. Okay, I think they could. Oh, one small thing. When I did install, I think when I installed the Expo CLI for the first time, I ran into an issue with Watchman. So just know that if you run into something like that, like it is a thing, and I was able to find help online. So people have run into that as well. So it might be gone by now. It might have been fixed, but just don't get discouraged if that's your first experience, because that's kind of the first step. Okay, so now let's see if this build of Android worked. I'm gonna try to submit, and if it doesn't work with that ES submit, I'm gonna go back to that Expo submit. Let's see if that builds. What's the archive type? Wait. Okay, so that's me. That's my ABB. Okay, so I don't know if you remember, we're gonna give it the path to the secret. What else could be going on with that Android stuff? What else could be going on? All right, let's try this. That's simple. How did I go about that? ES bill. Oh, ES. Oh, that's. Is it a similar thing where, like, if I give it the platform, it'll behave differently? Oh no, not the build. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Oh, let's try that. Yes. Yeah, for some reason there's something. Maybe it's something I don't understand. ES build is different than the ES build with the platform, and that's different than when you answer the question with the platform in the first point. Anyway, while I wait, go back to see if there's something else. Yeah, that's essentially what I've been doing. Expo build iOS. Expo build iOS. Yes, submit platform iOS. Expo build Android. So in both cases, the ES submit seems to work, but in both cases, I had to do the Expo build. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if that works. Okay, now that I'm running into that, I'll tell you what. If it doesn't work this time around, I'll call it a day, and I'll keep working on it. I'll get back to you all in a future office hour. Yeah, because I might. Oh, although this one sometimes takes a sec to upload. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a day. Keep in mind, so yeah, it's a little bit of a different office hour because some of those clearly are not like Draftbit property, right? We have to deal with those tools when you exit Draftbit. So um, things might not be as straightforward. But I guess to be very honest, my experience has been that it is a little bit of a kind of figuring out the way we just did. So I'm not going to pretend that the little issues we run into are completely original or unseen before. But it does work. Like I'm pretty confident that if you give me 30 more minutes and figure out maybe one or two couple of like little struggles here and there, it'll eventually get to the store. So I genuinely feels like in an hour or two you can get something in the store. Which is, all things considered, is not a ton of time. I would also say, and maybe that's what I should have said for the officer. Once you've done it once, then everything we just did here becomes so much easier. It's literally like build and submit. You have removed like half of the process. So you can even you also have this like update command if you want to do like over the air updates. So everything gets easier once you've done it once. But for do it once, maybe an hour or two. So anyway, I hope it was still valuable. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna turn eventually that into a proper documentation. We want this is our first attempt at documenting and helping new folks through that process. We want to get better at it, and we will get better at it. So yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you blog. Let us know if you've tried publish, if you've been able to go through. We will love to hear from you all. So thank you guys. I'm gonna stop now and I'll let you know later on if those builds went through. All right. Bye bye, folks.